And we're just gonna get started in 3, 2. Hello, one and all, and welcome to the next exciting episode of What Were We Talking About Again, the only podcast on the internet that you don't need a shower liner to keep dry. I'm your host, Jake, and with me here is an anonymous hacker known by the government only by her code name, introducing Sirancha.
Hi, how are you all doing today?
I'm sure they responded, we're doing very well. Anyway, let me explain the rules of the podcast.
What is this podcast? No one ever explained it to me.
So this podcast is, what were we talking about again? As I just mentioned, it is...
Well, yeah, no shit. I was talking about what is the premise of the podcast.
Right. Okay, so basically... we start off talking about, whatever I feel like, and then at the end of a 15-minute time slot, it's going to play an alarm, and when that alarm sounds, the last word or phrase that one of us said becomes the new topic that we talk about. So it's sort of designed to be semi-random, but also semi-coherent at the same time.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, oftentimes we get a topic that I have no idea how to talk about, but on the rare occasion, we get some great discussion in about something I am knowledgeable about, and it's a mixed bag. But that's pretty much the rules of the podcast. If you would like to introduce yourself further, now's your best time. If not, we're just gonna start the timer.
No thanks. Let's get that timer rolling.
Alright, starting in 3, 2. Alright, so, have you ever worried that you're losing your edge?
No, I have the exact opposite problem.
You're becoming too edgy?
Yeah, I need to tone it down. I need to learn how to interact with humans again.
Yeah, I used to be on that page, but then I don't know. I think sometime over the last couple months, something got to me, and I haven't really been my edgy self anymore. Like, let me give you an example. So a couple weeks ago, I was talking to my friend Daniela, and she really likes puns. So anytime I see like a good pun online, I'll like send it to her, try to get a giggle out of her. Usually doesn't work, but it's okay. I try. So I send her this pun, which was is a drawing by an American called a Yankee Doodle. Seems pretty simple, right? Pretty easy joke.
I don't think anybody could mistake the meaning of that.
Okay, yeah. So then she doesn't really react to the joke part. She instead responds with, "Oh, isn't the Yankee Doodle like the horse from the song?" I take a pause, and this is where I messed up, because a year ago I would have been like, okay, recite the song back to yourself very slowly and then tell me exactly where you went wrong, because this is unacceptable.
What was this girl's name? Daniela?
Yeah, she actually co-hosted an episode of this.
Oh, okay. What's your connection to this person? Is this like your girlfriend or just a friend or?
Just a friend.
Does this person have autism?
Sometimes I wonder. But no. She's actually very sociable and normally on the sharp end of the spectrum. But in that moment, I don't know. Something got to her. And
she just got a touch of it.
What was that? You kind of cut out a little.
She's been just got a little touch of it at that moment.
Yeah. We all had those moments.
Every second of my life.
Yeah, it's been a 19-year-long moment for me. But anyway, point being, I completely squandered this excellent opportunity to make her feel a little bit of the banter. So, and my Twitter, which in high school I would always get complimented on. People would be like, "Oh, you're so savage on Twitter," and I would be like, "Yeah, thanks." And then I would end the conversation there.
That's an excellent place to end that conversation that shouldn't have been occurring in the first place.
I mean, maybe, but I guess it's different in the modern era. You know.
Yeah,
But
you said you were 19, right?
Yes.
This
I'm
this
a
is already
youngster.
making a lot more sense.
Yeah. But maybe it's just because I haven't been hanging around high schoolers much anymore, but I don't really get those compliments anymore, and it's not. It has to be because my Twitter has been less fire recently. Because not even like my friends talk about it with me anymore.
Have you considered jumping on those trending hashtags? I hear that the kids love those.
I did at the beginning of my Twitter career, but I always ended up just mocking the whole premise anyway. So
Yeah, that's edgy. That's edgy.
I know it's edgy, but I don't know. I guess everyone does that now. So I had to sort of find a new niche to occupy, maybe, with my brand.
I mean, I guess. Okay, let's think about this. What's the edgiest thing you could think of? Let's both say it at the same time. Ready?
Okay.
One,
One,
two,
two.
1, 2, 3. Scat porn.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
You were supposed to say it at the same time.
Wait, what did you say?
Do you not understand how counting works? You go 1, 2, 3, and then you say the thing that you were going to think. You don't just sit there with your thumb up your ass. Let's try again.
Wait, I did say it on your 3.
You didn't say it on my 3. You said it about 30 seconds afterwards, which in radio
All right.
time is about 2 hours.
Maybe Discord delay, but actually, okay, what if I counted? 1,
Okay, that makes sense.
2, 3. Shadow the Hedgehog. Okay. Perfect. Our edges are aligned. It's like a tessellation for you
Have you
geometry
considered?
people out
All right,
there.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Let's go from there. Have you considered cosplaying?
I used to consider it when I was young and didn't have the money to do it, and now that I'm old and do have the means to do it, I do not want to.
Yeah, no, cosplay's stupid.
It really, like, it doesn't bequeath me to get on a costume and sweat in it for hours on end in a room with a bunch of other sweaty people in costumes.
I just don't like having my picture taken. Like, people have asked me if I would cosplay. I think the answer is going to be no, because I don't like people taking my picture.
Oh, well, would you cosplay if people promise not to want to take your picture?
Yeah, like, I would do it in the comfort of my own home. That sounds fun.
Maybe. But I'm not a crafty person. I don't want to put together a costume that's not my forte exactly.
Well, the edgiest costumes are the ones that are just barely thrown together, so that's easy.
I'm actually wearing my Crayola shirt right now because 2 years ago for Halloween I dressed up as a crayon. I had a Crayola shirt, Crayola socks, and a Crayola beanie.
What color were you?
Green.
That's the least edgy color.
Yeah, it's very serene, lush, and life-giving. I should have been the red and black crayon. That's what I should have gone for.
Yep.
But if when cosplaying fails, the next best thing you could do is probably making fun of cosplayers.
I think the next step would be LARPing, wouldn't it? Because that's not technically cosplay, right?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. The cosplay is a big no for me, but LARPing in general kind of sounds cool.
No,
To try.
LARPing is fun as fuck. When I was in college, my university had a LARP club. I
Yeah.
don't know what flavor of LARP it was, but it was the one where they pretended to be like medieval people and they had pool noodles that they pretended to be swords, and I would always just get drunk and go on the green and make fun of them. And then until one day I actually decided to play. It was the best day of my life. It was so much fun. I would do anything to LARP again.
Did they have like spells like that lightning bolt guy?
I have no idea. I just showed up with a pool noodle and started hitting people.
Ah, that's the dream right there.
Oh my god, it was so much fun. We all got to make up our own like night names. I wish I could remember. Mine was like a My Little Pony name. I think I called myself Sunset Shimmer, but it was so much fun.
Is that a My Little Pony name? I
Yeah,
don't even
that's a
know.
My Little Pony from the first movie, Equestria Girls.
Oh, all I know is like the main six, like Mane. Those are the
Of
only
course.
ones I know. Because I'm not really into it. I didn't even know how many movies were there.
There's two that I think are straight to DVD, and then there was one in theaters recently called I think it's just called the My Little Pony movie.
Oh, right. I actually worked at a movie theater last summer, and people were telling me, "Oh, get ready for the bronies to all come in."
I
But
don't think there are many bronies anymore, like hardcore bronies.
yeah, I it hasn't been as big of a movement recently, I don't think. But they did literally have to make a new board on 4chan for it because it was such a big deal. So
Yeah, that's old news though, buddy. That's old news. MLP has been there for a long time, but BronyCon is shutting down next year. So I assume that that's because attendance is low.
oh yeah, you went, didn't you?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I went.
Share, what's the creepiest thing you saw there? I guess I should
None of it
ask.
is creepy. I don't know why everybody asked that. It's not creepy. One time, 4 years ago, I saw a dude fellatiating. Oh wait, is this a no word podcast? Can I swear on here?
No, no, no. You can no word all you want.
Okay. George Carlin's. You can't say. What was that, George Carlin? You can't say this on the radio.
7 words you can't say on television.
Okay, well, there was a gentleman fellatiating a horse dildo, a dildo that looked like a horse's male parts. And inside of that dildo, it turned out that it had been hollowed out. So one could put liquor inside of it. So in order to find the treasure inside, of course, you had to put your mouth on the tip and suck it out. And let me tell you, this kid that I saw, this was not his first time doing this.
See, that is some clever engineering right there.
That's very true. That's very fucking true. Like, I don't know how much time it takes you to hollow out, because this thing looked like it was made out of rubber or something. I imagine you at least need special equipment to manage that.
I mean, was it his creation or did he store purchase it?
Oh, I don't know. That dildo passed through a number of lips that I am uncomfortable telling you.
Oh my god.
Not mine though.
I'm
Not mine.
guessing they have like sanitizer, right?
One would hope. I don't know. I stayed at least a 3 foot radius away from that thing, but watched in morbid curiosity.
See, but I mean, I guess that's kind of creepy, no? Maybe I shouldn't have used the word creepy because it has the wrong connotations, but
I mean,
that is
define
certainly
creepy.
that is certainly a curiosity. I meant creepy in the sense that if somebody heard you talking about it, they'd be like, "Whoa, that's really weird."
And you don't think sucking a horse whiskey out of a horse dildo fits that criteria?
No, it does. That's what I'm saying. I asked, "What's the creepiest thing you ever saw?" And then you said, "Ah, it's not creepy." I don't know why everyone keeps asking that.
I mean, because when I think creepy, I mean like
Scary.
I consider scary. I guess I consider that weird and funny, but not necessarily creepy. You know.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I should have phrased the question better. But the end of the day, we got an interesting story out of it, so all's well.
That's true. What's this timer at? Because I would really love to time out on dildos.
It's 2:12. So if you can, in 2 minutes and 8 seconds, come up with some sort of dildo quote, then that's what we're gonna end up talking about for the next 15 minutes.
I read an article once on Slate that was about a gentleman who was making dildos that I guess it's a fetish. It's a fetish that people want to be impregnated by an alien or something. So it came along with these gelatinous eggs that you could shoot into your butt.
And would they actually grow a real alien?
No, they were dissolvable or something. It was like they were made out of Jell-O, but on non-flavored Jell-O. Because I imagine if you flavored it, it would just be sugar, and that's a recipe for a yeast infection.
Oh, so it would be females doing this usually.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the demographics of alien butt eggs, but I imagine it's not good for either one of the sexes.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in dildology either.
I'm a dild historian.
Dildstorian. Dild scholar. That one doesn't really work that well.
I have my PhD. It's PH dong.
Yeah. Dildodemics.
I'm out of education themed
No,
words.
it's all over. Like we dildo classes. That's not even like a pun. That's just appending dildo
Those are
to
just
the beginning of.
You just put two words together.
Exactly. No, you can't flow it together like a magical portmanteau. Magimantu, if you will.
But
yeah. Wikipedia loves that word too.
Wikipedia defines. Wait, what?
Portmanteau. It just uses the word all the time, and I don't know why. Dildo. Okay, looks like the timer went off somehow on the word dildo, so we're gonna be talking about that for the next 15 minutes.
Okay, well this is your show, so go ahead.
I don't have any experience in that field. I
don't
really
fucking lie
don't
to me.
know. All right. You know, I saw these great looking cucumbers at Trader Joe's the other day.
What part of the country
Huge
are you
cucumbers. I'm in New Jersey.
New Jersey, and oh wait, yeah, I guess you do got Trader Joe's out there.
Yeah. I was actually visiting a friend in Fort Lee, which is right next to New York. So he has one close to him. I think there's also one like 15 minutes away from me, but I'm not willing to drive 15 minutes for, fresh, amazing produce at a very reasonable cost.
You got a produce junction near you? You got produce junction?
There's a produce junction near my dad's house. Not near me. The only thing we have is Whole Foods, which, Whole Foods, but you got to pay the whole price.
Oh, but I don't think you got international listeners. I feel like Produce Junction is an East Coast thing, so let me explain what Produce Junction is. Produce Junction is this fantastic, ratchet-ass store that doesn't take credit cards, that you can only buy fruits and vegetables from with cash, and it is great. I wish I had a Produce Junction in my house. I love Produce Junction. And these vegetables are so cheap, too. You can get a giant flock of kale, like enough kale to last you a bouquet of kale for like $3. They're awesome.
Yeah, I went there once and they had amazing prices. The best. I don't even know if they were like non-GMO or organic or whatever, but I don't care about that kind of stuff.
No, they're none of that. They're none of that. They're just vegetables and nobody there speaks English. It's
perfect.
Great.
I want as many chemicals in my vegetables as possible because that gives me the highest chance of earning superpowers or cancer, but
you ready to roll those dice?
Roll those dice, exactly.
No, man, Produce Junction is great. When I was in college, I went to Produce Junction once a week, and I ate super healthy, super cheap too. Like everybody gets fat in college. I think I might have lost weight. I got fat as fuck my first year, and then I lost a shitload of weight just eating out of this produce junction.
Yeah, freshman negative 15, I guess. I stayed the same weight my freshman year.
Are you a fat guy?
No, I'm definitely not a fat guy.
Hey, good for you.
I'm a little twig, actually. I've been hitting the gym recently in an attempt to bulk up.
Oh, you're a hungry skeleton?
Yeah, exactly. You know what really frustrates me? I still have my tonsils in and my appendix. You know, those organs that you don't need to live. And they're more of a risk factor than anything because they can, like, blow up and cause you problems.
What do appendixes do besides explode? Like, I read this thing about tonsils that apparently at some point they just were a cesspool for collection of bacteria when we ate meat and shit, but now they don't really do anything. But what does your appendix do?
It's like, how do I explain this? So you know how at the back of a book they often have an appendix that lists all of the citations and all that crap?
Are you fucking with me? Yeah, I know what an appendix is in a book.
Okay, the appendix in your human body actually does nothing like that. So I don't know. That's a great question.
I'm getting a drink. Hang on, I'll be back.
Oh my god. But no, it literally just blows up and you expend a non-zero amount of energy maintaining these organs that aren't helping you. So as someone who's trying to bulk up, I feel like I'm getting skimped on.
If only most of America had that problem.
Yeah, you're right.
I've been hitting the gym too. I'm very out of shape. I don't think I'm out of shape but I can only do cardio. I have very, very strong legs, but I have absolutely no upper body strength at all. I cannot do a push-up.
Ouch.
I know,
Well,
I've been trying to not bulk up, but like do muscle exercises, but it's so hard because I can't do anything. I'm really useless.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get a starting point. Like, you need to start it off real weak, and that means you're not getting as much extra strength out of it. So it's hard to progress. But, with enough determination, I believe in you. I think you'll get it.
I got really strong legs. I can leg press more than my body weight.
Yeah, I can leg press, 150.
What you leg pressing?
I can't do, 12 of 150s. My legs will get exhausted, but I can do 12 130s. And
I can do 12 130s.
145.
I'm about 115, and I could do 130. I could do 12 130 reliably. I can only do 115 if I only do 115 if I ran that morning.
Okay. So you had to have built up a little bit of endurance in your legs.
Hell yeah, bro. My legs are strong as shit.
Yeah, I used to do Kempo, and the kind of kicks that we were doing in that class, breaking boards, that kind of it's a martial art. It's sort of like a kung fu, but a lot more rigid, and it involves body movement to give your strike strength more than, the flowy sort of fighting style of kung fu, or it's I guess it's most similar to Taekwondo, but without all the grappling.
No, I don't know any of that shit, so
okay. It's a martial art. I stopped attending those classes though once I moved to college because it's a whole hour away. 2 hours away. Sorry. I'm not gonna drive that just to sit in class and learn how to punch for 45 minutes. I already got the main idea.
What's your what are you studying?
Studying electrical engineering and statistics.
What kind of statistics?
I mean, the major is just statistics. I'm guessing data analytics is probably the best thing to go into, but the major itself doesn't specify.
Oh, okay, that's fun. What do you want to do after you graduate?
I definitely want to either become a software developer or I want to analyze data and project, as a statistician might do.
That's cool. Yeah, I bet you could make a ton of money doing that too.
Yeah, it's the career prospects are great, but I need to work on getting an internship in the coming months for next summer.
Don't do an internship. Internships are scams.
I agree with you, but they are also resume boosters.
So just slap you think employers are actually reading gonna call your internship? Just slap Spite Industries on there for real. I will sign. As the VP of Spite Industries, I'll sign anything your college needs to say that you did something. You should at least be getting paid for this shit. And believe me, nobody's going to give a shit where you did an internship. And the reason that they hire interns is because they can't afford to hire more employees. Which, by the way, is illegal, but everybody does it anyways.
Yeah, I completely agree with you that, like, an unpaid internship is, like, basically signing yourself into slavery with the hopes that eventually something better will come of it. But I think you're underestimating the number of connections that you can make at an internship.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I mean, I have personal anecdotal evidence that you can make some solid connections and get some good career prospects from certain internships.
Well,
but,
any connections you could get in an internship, you can connect in by walking in there and talking to them. Because any company that's going to hire an unpaid intern, you're not going to be doing any high-level shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I feel like companies don't really work on human logic. They sort of work on this, like job interviews. They're all complete garbage. They ask you, why do you want to work here? Like, for what reason would I ever need to answer that question? I want to work here.
Because when they ask you, no, see, you're confused. You think that they're looking for an actual answer. What they're looking for is, did you give enough of a shit about this interview to at least research something about the company? That's what they're asking. They don't really care what you say. You could say, I know that you guys have a great dog poop eating program, and I love to eat dog poop. As long as you say something tangentially related to what the company does, they know that you're not some bum off the street.
No, I 100% agree with you, but the roundabout way in which they frame the question leads me to the conclusion that these companies don't work on human logic. Like, they essentially make you put on a mask, and then you have to present. It has to be a good mask that you present like one time and then throw away when you actually start working there.
Yeah, that's called HR, unfortunately.
It's completely absurd, but I guess I understand why it ended up being this way. Sort of. We need a reset button.
Now we need to kill all boomers. That's going to be our reset button.
Oh my god, baby boomers, man. They just take these jobs and then do nothing.
Oh, dude, I got in a fight with a fucking boomer at when I went to go get coffee yesterday morning.
What was the fight over?
So a stupid fucking boomer. I like to go to this coffee shop that's a couple blocks away from my apartment. And boomers, I walk in, and of course, boomer bitch is already screaming. She's like, I need my wrap. I'm in a hurry. And she's yelling at this poor kid behind the counter. It's clearly like his first or second day of work. So she comes over, she's like, this is bullshit. I don't have time to stand around and wait for this bullshit. So I get in her face and I say, hey, why don't you chill out for a second? And then she gets in mine. She says, why don't you mind your goddamn business? And I was like, okay, well, you are my goddamn business now because you're creating a public nuisance. But and she's like, well, you don't understand. I've been waiting here for 20 minutes for coffee. I was like, well, if you're in such a big rush, then why did you stop for coffee? And she got all in my fucking face. I was like, well, just fucking leave. Nobody wants you here. Leave. And she says, that's harassment. I'm going to call the police. And I said, call the cops. I don't give a fuck. And then she stormed out.
Man, I just love that. Like, they act like they're all high and mighty, condescending to these low-level employees, but then as soon as somebody else gets confrontational on them, it's like they break down. They're not expecting it.
No, because they're all retarded, and they've all been raised with the customer is always right. And so then when somebody who they have no power over gets in their face, they shrivel like flies on the floor of a locked classroom.
They're like bullies.
They are. They're exactly like bullies.
The may I speak to your manager people, unsurprisingly, they're a bunch of bullies, essentially.
They need to be put down, all of them. Put down.
Well, eventually, age will do the hard work for us. So.
Oh, wait, there was a Kimball sent me a boomer death clock. Hang on, let me look that up. It tells you the percentage of baby boomers that are dead.
Oh, do you want to momentarily tell the viewers who Kimball is? Just a friend, pretty much, but...
Kimball's a 19-year-old dipshit who is one of the funniest people on the face of the planet.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I didn't know he was my age, though.
I think he's either 19 or 20. I love that guy.
Yeah. He's got a good sense of humor, I gotta say.
There's too many people on boomerdeathclock.com.
Boomerdeathclock.com.
A request timed out. But I was sitting next to him in Atlanta, and oh my god, that kid is hilarious. He's just nonstop jokes. He's great.
I love people like that. It just, they're always funny, and they don't really care how they end up looking. That's the kind of people I need in my life.
He also did cocaine off of a copy of Catcher in the Rye.
And that was in front of you?
Yeah, it was really funny.
It's a powerful political statement.
I wish I had a picture, but that's rude to take pictures of people doing drugs.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Oh, you could just claim it was sugar or flour.
Yeah, no, I snorted a rail of flour.
And that the baby boomer judge would believe you because he's retarded.
Hey, Judge Ramos is a man of character and stature.
See, but he's not a baby boomer. Like, to be labeled as a part of your generation, I feel like you had to exemplify the worst qualities of that generation.
Yeah, boomer is more of a state of mind than anything else.
Yeah, you're right about that. Like, there's some very young boomers out there right now.
Zoomers. Kimball says they're called Zoomers.
That's hilarious.
I don't know where he got that from or if he made it up, but he says that baby Generation Z or Generation X boomers and Millennial boomers are called Zoomers.
That's brilliant. Oh, so the timer went off on Zoomers. So, we're going to start talking about Zoomers, but first, we're going to do our mid-roll. So, this is split into 4 segments. 2 of them are up. Then we do the mid-roll, and then the last 2.
You have ads on the show? What the fuck is the mid-roll?
This is the place where an ad would be if I were big enough to do that.
I was gonna say, ain't no way this shit has sponsors.
Yeah, you're right. But we're just kind of, relaxing, mid-rolling, and then I'm gonna make a few announcements. You could plug whatever you want if you so choose.
Okay, you mid-roll. I'm gonna go get a glass of water. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I have
Run your ad.
Yeah. So last episode, I said I was gonna release a video called Top 10 Manliest Mathematicians, and I said it was coming out next week. Next week came, next week went, and the video's not out. How do I explain this? Well, essentially the script grew to be a lot more gargantuan than I anticipated, and I also wasn't able to work on it as much as I'd hoped. So that video, that's still coming. That's my #1 priority. It'll be out when it's done. The other cool announcement I want to make is, have you guys ever heard of chess?
Chess, like the game. Oh, by the way, I'm back.
Yeah, but what if, Sirancha, there was a chess 2?
What?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest here. There already is a chess 2, created by David Serlin, and it's all right, but I think he did a lazy job with it. So, since pretty much anyone can use the chess name, it's like public domain, I thought, what if I made a chess 3 and it was actually fun? So, once I'm done the Manliest Mathematicians video, that's what I'm going to be working on. Chess 3.
What percentage of the population do you think still knows how to play chess?
I don't think it's changed much. I mean...
Really? You don't think it's changed now that video games are a thing?
No, I completely don't. I think a lot of people who play video games are also appreciative of board games and
oh shit!
all-time classics like chess.
I keep fucking forgetting you have never lived in a world without the internet, have you?
Not really. I mean, I didn't, browse the internet until I was 6 years old, but ever since then, it's been, yeah, I don't get it, because I started, going on the internet, browsing internet communities, seeing things I probably shouldn't have seen, way younger than my peers. So it's like, what were people my age doing from, like, age 6 to age 12 or so?
You mean between my age, 6 to 12, probably, playing chess. No.
But, point being, like, a lot of them don't remember stuff from, like, 2006 to 7 YouTube. Like, they don't remember Pingus.
Oh man, you remember the annoying orange?
I do remember the annoying orange, but that wasn't until, like, 2009.
No, Fred. Fred was way before that.
Yeah, Fred was one of the first really bad trends.
That Onision, before Onision lost his fucking mind, remember that video, I'm a banana?
Yeah, I remember I'm a banana. That was the most popular Halloween costume in 6th grade. Unfortunately. They didn't know about Onision's dark side.
Yeah, didn't he, like, fuck? He was fucking a 60. Oh, I know, that's... allegedly, he was having sex with a 16-year-old or something.
While he was, like, 20-something?
In his 20s, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I think he's even
bad.
30 now.
Oh my god, an old hat, man.
Which,
anyway,
unpopular opinion, I think even if you're 30, you should be fucking around with 18-year-olds, even if it's legal. What do you two have in common?
Half your age plus 7.
Gross. Fucking nasty.
Anyway, we're gonna talk about Zoomers now. Cut the music, cut the calming music that I played during these mid-rolls, cut the roll from Mega Man that I put on screen for some reason. Zoomers in 3, 2. It's kind of weird how a lot of kids inherit their parents' attitudes almost entirely, and a lot also don't, and a lot also try to be the exact opposite.
You think that's weird how you're confined in a space for the first 12 years of your life or 10 years of your life while your brain is in development and you have the same attitudes as your parents? You think that's weird?
No. What I think is weird is that some kids stay that way, some kids do a complete 180, and some just like go in sideways, like a completely different direction with their beliefs.
Yeah, I guess.
And I believe that public schooling is very important because it exposes you to outside ideas and an outside view of how the world works, sort of, at least. Homeschooling. I know my cousins were homeschooled and they turned out fine because they had, but I think it's because they had the church community that they went to often, and that sort of exposed them to some outside ideas. If they just stayed in the house, like a lot of homeschool parents like to make their kids do, I don't know. It escapes me entirely how they would have turned out.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine I've only known one girl that was homeschooled. She seemed fine. She went to our church group, and then after a while, I just never saw her again. So I hope she's doing okay. Like, she was weird in the most shallow sense of the word weird, which is I call unobtrusively weird. Like, okay, maybe she dressed a little differently from everybody else, and she liked horses more than the average person, but she wasn't like, "Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?" Weird. So I give that a pass.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really speak on this just because I don't feel like I've known that many homeschooled people, except for when I was in like school, like high school. We had to get on a bus after a while and take state testing, and there was always a couple of those kids that nobody recognized. They always did really well in the tests, though.
No, yeah, a lot of them are very smart. Like, I think a perception is that, they end up stupid because they don't get quality teaching from specialized teachers, but in the internet age, it's really hard, not to get all the information you need.
Oh, I would imagine you'd get a much, if your parents understood the concept that they were teaching, you'd get a much better education if you were homeschooled, just because, first of all, you're getting one-on-one attention. And second of all, you don't have to deal with No Child Left Behind, so the kid sitting in the corner of the room eating paste isn't going to hold the lesson up.
Yeah, No Child Left Behind, that's some garbage. As a rational egoist, it pains me. That rational egoist side of me is pained. The rest of me is like, whatever.
How I met one of my best friends was the first year of my high school. They didn't separate your classes by skill level. So I was in an English class with a girl that moved here from Poland, whose English was like her third or fourth language or something. She speaks it great now, but at the beginning she like can't read.
Oh, God.
As a 10th grade student.
Yeah, it's rough for those migrant children.
No, but it's like, fuck you, that's like her fourth language. Leave her alone.
Yeah, the younger you are, the better you are at learning languages. Like, if you learned a different language when you were young, you can learn many more, a lot more easily than someone who only has spoken one their whole life.
Yeah, you ever read, I know a chick whose sister is majoring in college in Victorian sciences or something, and she speaks like 6 different languages. And I was thinking about how that's weird, but then if you ever read those books about like Russian royalty, they always spoke like 12 different languages. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, there are people who know like 30 different languages in the CIA or whatnot, because it's kind of important to know as many languages as you can get your hands on.
That's fucking nuts.
It is nuts, but I guess if you learn one more, a third one isn't going to kill you. A fourth one is just a logical conclusion, and eventually it just becomes like a thing you do. Just learn new languages.
You become that ascended brain meme.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people who speak 30 plus languages don't speak all of them super well. Some of them do, and that's kind of scary. But
yeah, like there was this dumb bitch in my psychology class my last year of college who claimed to speak 5 languages, and what she meant was she could say hello, good afternoon, and I'd like to eat now in Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and a bunch of other ones.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of women especially are just fascinated with the idea of learning new languages. Not to be sexist or anything, but that's just what I've observed.
You think that's a woman thing?
No, I think men do it too, but women I've seen a lot more of. As a child living in the 21st century America, that's what I've seen.
I guess. Can't relate, but I believe you.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's more of a man thing than I realize. A lot of my male friends, I don't know. I feel like they're either too dumb or too smart to really care about learning a billion languages.
Give me more there, because I don't know what you're talking about.
So some of my male friends aren't the brightest, and so learning an additional language would be an immense struggle. Some of my other male friends are very intelligent and realize that learning a new language, while it would be great, isn't necessarily the end-all be-all skill to obtain, and they should focus their efforts on other better things. They can already communicate in English.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's not a... it depends what career you're in or you want to go in, I guess. Because, I mean, you'd be much better focusing your time doing other things. Like, if you don't want to be someone that works direct, like, if you want to work in IT, I guess that wouldn't really help you at all.
Well, you need to learn a couple of different languages. Java, Swift,
C++, Ruby on the Rails. Let me put my dick in my hand.
Yeah, you saw it coming.
I did. I saw it from a mile away, and it's your fault.
It is all my fault. But, yeah, learning a new language, if you want to do it, go for it. I'm not trying to discourage you. But all I'm saying is, maybe if you're looking to get hired at Starbucks, learning Spanish is great. But a lot of careers aren't really going to look at the fact that you know 18 languages and be like, wow, this makes her a much more practical hire for our company than this person who is superior in every way but only knows one language.
Learn Japanese. It's so fucked up. You'll have so much fun time.
Yeah, of course, as a hobby if you want to do it.
No, just learn it. It's totally fun. You won't be able to read even after you're fluent.
Don't they have like a bunch of weird structural things where the sentence structure just doesn't have an English equivalent at all?
Japanese is fucked up at a number of different levels. First of all, there's 3 different alphabets that you have to learn, one of which is only used for words taken from other languages. Like, the Japanese word for coffee is kohi. So it is obviously a English, like a bad translation of that. So they'll write it out with a different alphabet so you know that what it's coming from is from English. And most of the time where they come from is English, but then sometimes you'll sit there. Like I remember seeing the word arubaito for the first time written in that alphabet. I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I'm trying to like connect in my brain, what is this? And then I found out 2 weeks later it's German. It means part-time job and it's German.
That's so random. Is that hiragana, that special type of character?
No, it's katakana.
Oh, you said it with an accent and everything, so I know you're giving me valid information.
Kanji.
I don't know all the... It's hiragana, katakana, and kanji, right? That's it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. I don't watch a lot of anime. I never did. But my friend encouraged me to watch some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and whenever someone makes impact with like a punch, a little Japanese character appears on the screen, and I don't know what they mean. I'm completely lost.
They don't translate them?
No, you think they would, but they just don't. It's a stylistic choice. I mean, if they did translate it, it would look really weird, I imagine.
Like, I'm sure... I've never seen JoJo, but I imagine they're just onomatopoeias, like they do in comic books.
Yeah, like pow, zoom. We started talking about zoomers. I don't know how we got to this.
Do. That's a big Japanese onomatopoeia. There's just a bunch of weird caveats in the language. I wouldn't say there's no sentence structure, but a lot of the time, if you're talking about a subject that's already implied, they'll just drop the subject. That's how you tell if somebody speaks native Japanese or not, is if they start all their sentences with watashi wa watashi wa gakusei desu. Like the word smith is a totally rational and normal sentence in Japanese. You could just say student, and that's a complete sentence.
What ideas isn't student the subject of a sentence normally? Like, I thought you dropped that, but you're dropping the rest instead.
Let me try to think of an example. Like, if you wanted to say, if somebody asked you, give me a sec.
Somebody asked, what's his occupation?
Yeah, you don't have to say, I'm a student. You could just say student, because it's implied that you're talking about I am.
Yeah, I guess we sort of have that in English, but it's not really a complete sentence, technically. But
Yeah.
in Japanese it is, I guess.
Yeah, and there's different words for like if you're counting something that's flat versus counting something that's round, you have to use a different set of words.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
How do you
And then,
determine? Like, what if it's like a semicircle, which is both flat and round?
well,
Then what do you
are you
use?
counting semicircle drawn on paper or like a object?
Like, drawn on paper.
Well, obviously that would be flat.
Oh, now I see what you're talking about. Okay, that makes more sense.
There's
thought
different
you meant-
words for if you're talking about something is covered in something, whether you're talking literally or hyperbolically, there's different words for that. There's different, what's it called? Modifiers depending on where the subject is. Then it's a lot of shit, and it takes a while to learn it all.
Do you know about the Finland conspiracy theory?
No.
Okay, so essentially the idea is that Finland doesn't exist, and where it is on the map is actually just a bunch of ocean that Japan and Russia have agreed to use for fishing, something like that. And one of the pieces of quote-unquote evidence that they use is that the Finnish language has a lot of similarities to Japanese, even though from a linguistic standpoint, what do you call those people who study languages, or like where they originated?
Oh, I don't know.
All right, but those people, it doesn't make much sense why they would have a similar language, because geographically it just doesn't add up.
Well,
Of
I mean,
course
half
they-
of Japanese is fucking stolen. They have an entire alphabet that's for stealing words, and the other 1/3 of their alphabet is stolen from Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But it's kind of weird that the Finnish would come up with a similar language to that.
Where is Finland? Has no one ever gone to Finland?
Well, okay, the idea is that, and this is the funniest part. So they have like an FAQ, and it asks, "What about the people who live in Finland? What do they just not
Yeah.
exist?" But no. They think they live in Finland, but actually they just live in Eastern Russia.
Oh shit! So they managed to brainwash the whole population too.
Yeah, and I guess if you're a pilot, or if you're on a plane going to Finland, you're not going to know exactly where the plane is going. And the same coming out of Finland.
Wait, what do you mean you're not gonna know? Like they don't have those in-flight things where they show you where you are on the map?
Well, that's a part of the conspiracy, of course.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
See, said the blind man.
Yeah, very valid. But yeah, Finland, not an existing country. You heard it here first, folks. I'm endorsing this officially. This definitely doesn't seem like a BS theory that doesn't make any sense. And the timer went off on endorsing this officially. So that's an odd one, but we're going to make it work. This is our last segment. This has gone very fast.
Yeah, no, I imagine. Am I doing okay? How do your guests usually do?
Oh, no. You're doing a splendid job compared to, some of my previous guests. They sort of acted as just a person for me to talk to more than actually participating. So you're doing a excellent job just by, you've got some solid jokes in there, some solid banter. I think
thank you.
it's going really well.
I hate when there's awkward pauses on podcasts.
Yeah, I don't like dead air either. During the end of the end of the first block, there was kind of a little bit of dead air. I'm gonna try to see if I can edit something cool in there.
What, like an explosion noise? What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know, like maybe cut some stuff out cleverly so that the pause isn't there anymore, but like, I don't know, reincorporate some other audio in. I'm not sure. I'll see what I can do, but that's the only real moment of dead air we've had so far. This fourth one, though, and which is gonna start in 3, 2, 1, is a different story entirely. Maybe. Let's try to make it work. So, what was it? Endorsing this idea?
You're talking about some kind of endorsement. So you said you're gonna get sponsors for this show, right? At some point in the future, endorsements.
I mean, maybe I'll open up a Patreon once I get a triple digit download count.
Oh yeah, I imagine you'd wait. Total digits, or how many downloads do you get per episode? About
Anywhere from 25 to 60.
Hey, that's
usually.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I'm very appreciative of the viewers that I've had so far, but it definitely doesn't make like I had to set aside time in my schedule to record this. 60 viewers, as great as that is, isn't really enough for me to make this like a task that I have to do every week, which originally was the plan. I was going to record an episode of this every single week. It's turned it more into an average of once a month. But
yeah, don't hold yourself to any kind of schedule, and it will never become not fun.
Right, exactly.
Because as soon as you start saying, "Oh, I have to do this at this hour," then it's fucking work, and that's why I said I don't care if pork cheddar dies tomorrow. I don't want this to be my work at all for me. So you'll get episodes when you get episodes. I guess if I started doing it, I want to do some bonus episodes or something just for the Patreon people. But so I guess I got to put those in a schedule. But man, it's boring.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it's the same exact task and yet your perception of it entirely changes whether or not you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I guess it's just me sitting in my living room talking in a microphone, though, so chill out.
Yeah, but like when you're thinking of it as work, all of a sudden it becomes this ordeal.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
It's the same thing with summer reading in high school. I had a Twitter debate about this with some people.
I'm sure you got a lot of great information out of that.
Yeah, definitely. That was back when it was still 140 characters instead of 280, so we have, half the information density per tweet. So it was
They need
great.
to change that shit back.
I would argue that that's not necessarily true because
fuck it. I won't even hear a counterpoint. There's too many words. I don't come to Twitter for words. I come for short snippets of news stories and hot takes. I don't need more than... let's limit it to 5 characters, actually. Just a picture.
Have you ever heard of the Yo app?
No, what's that?
So basically, it's the most efficient communication tool possible. All it is you get other people to use the app and you can send them yo. And that's it.
What is the purpose of this?
So you can say yo to your friends.
But can't you do that over text by just typing Y-O?
That's too many buttons, you see. That's typing Y and then O and then changing to character mode and then exclamation point and then send. That's 5 whole taps for this message. Whereas with the Yo app, 1 tap. That's all you need.
How do people who speak Mandarin text?
Apparently, you know how I observed my friend Shui texting his parents in Mandarin once. So he typed out with normal letters. I shouldn't say normal letters.
Wait,
because
like English alphabet letters?
Yeah, like the romanization, I guess, of the word, and then it automatically put the character on his text.
That's kind of like what that's weird. That's kind of like what Japanese does. Like there's like I mentioned, there's 3 different alphabets, but one of them has like 2,000 characters in it. So what you do is it's got like 12 buttons, and then when you click on one of the buttons, it's got it in hiragana, and so if you type like watashi, it'll automatically correct it to the right kanji. It's really neat.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. Did typing exist before the smartphone age for people with Eastern languages?
I mean, like, I imagine it had to, right? I imagine it would work the same way on a keyboard. Like, the program you were typing in would have to automatically correct it to whatever kanjis, but dude, I really don't know.
Right, but if you were on like a typewriter, there's no real way to do that.
Oh, typewriter. Fuck that shit. Typewriter, forget it. No.
Yeah. Or maybe they just had 2,000 plus buttons on the typewriter.
Now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever seen like a old-timey letter written in anything but English or French.
Yeah, and they all use the same characters, so you know, I feel like having a language full of a countably finite number of letters versus over 2,000, like having an alphabet, it just makes learning the language and speaking it and writing it a million times easier.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I know people have a lot of problems with learning English, especially because a lot of people don't know this. I did live in Japan for a while, and I went to high school there, and a lot of them have trouble with the concept of like a and an. Like they just don't get it.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that. And probably, like, from a person whose first language is Mandarin's perspective, our alphabets are really difficult and make things obstacles. Or maybe not. Maybe they just, like, sort of accept that it's the superior way.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to. Let's take a poll.
Let's
throw up a straw
survey.
poll.
Yeah, you're right. No, honestly, if you just throw up a Twitter poll, then we can get some data on that.
I'm sure that'll be a non-biased sample, which is the best language. Poll only available in English.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to contact some prominent member of the Japanese community, and we'll see.
I read something
this
somewhere. Wait, what'd you say?
Oh, no. Go on. I just said we'll see, and then I don't even know. You read something somewhere?
I just remember reading something somewhere that like Mandarin is a lot easier than a lot of people think because you're not memorizing each individual character. You're memorizing they're made up of radicals. But I
Which all do
don't
different
know how
sounds, I guess.
I mean, I don't even think it's the sound, but it's when you're writing it, like that like the word or not the word, the character for that you use when you're making the words love and like in Japanese and I guess Chinese too is also the character for mother and child together, so it's got some kind of relation with that. I don't know. It was a shoddy article.
Yeah, but that's still something you have to learn. I guess you don't have to learn like the strokes again, but you had to learn that mother and child translates to love.
Yeah, I imagine that'd be a weird. That's kind of a weird transition.
Yeah. Especially, well, let's not go there, actually.
No, let's go there. What are you talking about?
in the modern age, have you ever gone on r/incest?
No, I have not. Tell me more.
Scary number of Oedipus complexes.
That's
you know what that is, right?
Is that the one where you want to fuck your mom? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, do you want to hear where that term comes from in Greek mythology?
Didn't Oedipus fuck his mom?
Well, it's not that simple, though.
Okay, go ahead. Enlighten me.
So basically, the Oedipus's real parents, they were told by a prophet that he would grow up, kill his father, and have sex with his mother. And they were like royalty, and I guess they hired this guy to tell the future or whatever. And they were scared, so they hired a guy to go into the woods and kill the baby. The guy couldn't go through with it, so he left the baby in the woods. And then an entirely different couple who couldn't seem to conceive stumbled upon this child, and they're like, "Hey, let's raise him as our son." And then so Oedipus grew up thinking that his adoptive parents were his real parents, and then he became a man. He sort of went to school. He learned how to fight, I guess. Bunch of stuff happened, and then he went over to some nation that he was unfamiliar with, or some city, not a nation really. And on the way there, he passed by some dude in a carriage. They talked some shit on each other and then got into a very bad fist fight, and he ended up killing that person. And it turns out it was, the I don't know if king is the right word, but the head of the city. And then he goes to City Hall and he takes a throne for himself, and he takes the guy's wife for himself and has sex with her. And as it turns out, the guy he killed was his dad, and the girl was his mom, obviously, because it was his wife.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so the prophecy came true after all.
That's like an episode of That's So Raven. Like when they get a prediction that they don't want to come true, they try their hardest, and that just ends up making it come true.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what the Electra complex is? I would like to hear the story behind that one.
I'm not familiar.
The Electra complex is the one that you want to fuck your dad, but I don't know why that is.
Carmen Electra?
No, I think it was another Greek bitch.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oedipus. That Greek bitch. I mean, Antigone is his niece, and Antigone is the subject of that Shakespeare play. So I don't think it was
die
Shakespeare.
In a tower or something. I vaguely remember reading that in high school. That was fucking many moons ago.
Yeah, it wasn't Shakespeare. I'm retarded. It was a Greek play. It was a Greek tragedy, and from what I remember, she had a sister who was way hotter than her. I don't know if that's true or not, that last detail, but she definitely had a sister who was loyal to her uncle, and then she rebelled, and then Creon, the uncle, tried to become king, and apparently he's the actual protagonist. I'm describing this very poorly because I don't remember anything of it. Not the best Greek myth, I gotta say.
That's okay, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah. The Oedipus story, though, that was like... That stuck with me because you really can't escape your fate, in theory, if fate even exists. Do you believe it? Do you believe in predetermination, or are you more of
No, not at all.
Are you a nihilist? Would you describe yourself that way?
No, I'm not that edgy.
Oh, okay. So, existentialist, maybe?
I mean, you'd have to define the question. Like, are you asking me if I think there's God, or are you asking me if I think there's a predetermined fate for every person?
I'm asking you the free will question. Do you believe that we have free will?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of hard. Like, determinism is hard to argue against. The only real way to argue against it is to say that there's something quantum going on in the brain where you can't predict the electrical signals. But if that doesn't occur, then in some sense we really don't have free will. The thing is, in the context of life, you should treat it as if you have free will, even if it ultimately isn't, like from a pure scientific standpoint. Because it's just philosophically, it makes no sense to change the frame in which you view your actions, just because you, like, epistemologically, you now know about them.
I mean, I guess the best argument would be we all have hormones. Like, fucking someone and then letting them live in your house doesn't make much economic or sense, but people fall in love, and I guess that's not something that you can control.
But as you said, it's the result of hormones entering your body.
I'm making a point for it's not your brain.
Oh, yeah, it's your brain and the rest of your body, of course. But in the end, they're all determined by ahead of time. Like, they're all a series of predictable chemical reactions. We obviously don't have the technology yet to predict it which is why, we're not telling the future. And if something quantum is going on, then we're never going to have the capability to. But timer just went off. And that is our last 15-minute segment for the day. I thought that was a fantastic episode. How'd you think? How do you think I did? How do you think we did?
No, yeah. I think we did a good job. It's not easy to talk to a random bitch from Twitter for an hour. So I think you did great.
Oh yeah, I treat everyone the same. I just talk to them, try my best to make a conversation that people will want to listen to, and that's gonna be my goal always moving forward with this podcast.
Well, I hope that this episode hits 100 downloads, so Harry's Razors will finally sponsor you.
Oh yeah, make to that triple-digit number. You can help if you maybe tweet about it once it goes live or something to that effect. No? Why not?
No, I'm not putting... I got my IRL friends on there. I don't want them listening to this.
Fair enough. I failed to consider that. Don't you have 2 accounts?
Yeah, I do. The other is my secret Twitter account with spicy opinions because people from work have discovered my secret identity.
Oh, I see. So it's to hide from work friends. That's why.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. I should do the same thing, to be honest. I should have done the same thing. Account. Oh, okay. Yeah, in high school, I really should have done the same thing. I should have had like a public Twitter where I post about, oh hey, hanging out with some friends. Here's a picture of me, like treating it like Facebook essentially, and then the real Twitter.
That's what my 13-year-old cousin says. She has a Rinsta and a Finsta for. Your Rinsta is your real Instagram that you treat like Facebook, and then your Finsta,
and then Finsta you post
has all your
party
pics on it.
Ugly pictures, complaints about society.
Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, just by being on Instagram, you're sort of defeating the purpose. Instagram is never going to be as great as Twitter for edgy, opinionated, crazy, posts.
I mean, I think the Finstas are just for underage drinking. My cousin is using it correctly.
Fair enough. Oh my god, there's a crazy looking scarlet ibis outside my window.
Oh, that looks like a great place to end this episode because I don't know what that is.
Okay, this has been What Were We Talking About Again. I appreciate every single one of you who is out here listening and commenting, telling me they love the show. That's great to hear. And if you want to, maybe suggest something for me to talk about on the show, hit me up on Twitter. It's just my first name _ my last name. If you don't know my last name, don't look for it, but I'm like the easiest person in the world to dox.
Fantastic advertising here.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you learn in marketing schools. You want to make it as hard as possible for people to find you on the internet.
Yeah, that's the SEO tips from a professional. If you like Sirancha and maybe want to look at her tweets.
If you like my performance at whatever this is, I won't make it difficult for you to find me. I'm at delete your account spelled the way that no human should spell it on Twitter.
Delete your account, right? Like
delete
with no
your account,
you.
Yes.
Okay. With that out of the way, listen to Porg Chatter, which is Sirancha's podcast, or Asterios Kills a Kid. That too. She's on that.
They're both good. Patreon.com/Asterios. I get a percentage of that.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening again, and I'll see you guys on the next flip side. That's
Bye.
Adios.